Hello everyone, I am Vidya Chatradmat, Assistant Professor from Civil Engineering Department, STJ Institute of Technology, Ranabanur. So today I am going to start with the second module in the pavement design subject. So that is design factors. That is factors to be considered in the designing of the pavement. It may be the flexible pavement or it may be the rigid pavement. So what are all the factors you need to consider for the designing of that pavement? We will going to learn in this module. Along with that, this set is comprises of that is ESWL concept is nothing but equivalent single load concept. So based on that, you are having the problems. So then, for the designing of the flexible payment, we are having the different methods. We are going to discuss how to design the flexible payment by using the different methods of designing of this payment. It may be the Canas method, or it may be the Meckeled method, or the triaxial method. So different methods are there. Let us discuss one by one. So let us start with today's session. That is factors to be considered for the payment design. So if you are considering any payment, so it may be influencing of the many of the factors that may be including the wheel loads, how much load is coming on the payment. There may be an environmental condition or the which type of materials you are used in the pavement that are all affecting on the strength of the pavement or designing of the pavement. So here I have listed the some of the factors that may be affecting the pavement design. It may be the wheel load, axial load, that is axial configuration, contact pressure, vehicle speed, repetition of the loads, and the subgrade type, temperature, as well as the precipitation. It may be the environmental factors also you need to consider for the designing of the pavement. So let us discuss one by one how it is affecting for the designing. So now you just consider here the wheel load. So if you're considering any vehicle is moving on the pavement, so then because of this, the vehicle weight is concentrated on the wheel. So wheel is exactly contracted or it is moving on this whatever the pavement. So that the contact pressure you need to consider. So that adequate thickness of the pavement must be provided. So if the wheel load is heavy. So means whatever the wheel load is there, in order to sustain that load, you must provide the adequate thickness for the pavement. So here you just observe the figure. We have differentiated the two figures with the different thickness of the pavement is there. So thick structure is there and the thin structure is there. So if the thick structure is provided, so whenever the wheel load is acting on this pavement, so there is even distribution of this pressure. So because of this distribution of the contact pressure, whatever the pressure which is experienced by the subgrade is less here. So because it is distributed by the different layers of the pavement itself in case of the flexible pavement, so that the pressure has been reduced when it is reaches the subgrade here. So but when the thickness is less, so then what happens? So whatever the pressure which is coming on the subgrade is more. So then the subgrade is not able to sustain that much of heavy load. So in case if the thickness of the pavement is less, there may be a chances of collapse of this subgrade. So there is a chances of the deterioration of the pavement may occurs. So that the wheel load must be considered based on the type of the vehicle which is allowed on the movement on the pavement. So you just observe the figures here. Just observe there are different loading type of the vehicles is there. That is a single unit truck. So that is usually whatever the normal sized truck what we are used for the transportation. This is what the single unit truck. Suppose the heavy moving vehicles are there, the conventional combination of the vehicle or the longer combination of the vehicle. So if you are allowing this longer combination of the vehicle or the conventional combination of the vehicles on the movement of this pavement, so then you need to consider whatever the wheel load which is coming on the pavement because of these heavy moving vehicles. Because for the lightweight vehicles we are having the separate wheel load. If the heavy moving vehicles are moving on the pavement, so then you need to consider the wheel load which is comprises of this heavy moving vehicles. So based on this wheel load only you need to design for the pavement thickness. So it may be the 8 axial loads or a triple trailer combination. So if you are allowing this type of the vehicles on the pavement, so then you need to consider the respective wheel loads for this type of the vehicles. So this is regarding what the wheel load affecting for the designing of the pavement thickness. So now the another parameter so that you need to consider, that is a tire or a contact pressure. So you can observe here, whenever the vehicle is moving on this pavement, so there is a some pressure may be developed between the tire as well as the pavement. So you can observe here, there is some pressure has been developed between this tire as well as this pavement. So if the tire is having the uh, contact if the tire is having the low pressure, so then the contact pressure will be the greater than the tire pressure. So the contact pressure is more than the tire pressure whenever we are having the low tire pressure. So that you need to consider whatever the contact pressure or tire pressure, so we may expect in the designing of this pavement. So usually this contact area is generally it's a elliptical shape we have considered, but for the easy calculation in this pavement design we have considered it as a circular shape. So this is about the tire pressure or the contact pressure that has been considered in the vehicle. So that is designing of the pavement. So now let us move for the another point, that is the vehicle speed. So whenever the traffic is allowed on this whatever the pavement you have designed, so the mixed traffic vehicles are moving. So some of the vehicles or the slow moving vehicles, or some of the vehicles are the fast moving vehicles are there. So in order to manage those, we need to consider whatever the vehicle speed is there. So if the vehicle speed is more, so then you have to consider that also. So then it may be causes the damage of the pavement. So if the so therefore you need to consider whatever the speed of the vehicles you have fixed for the designing of the particular pavement. So then the next point is, it is a repetition of the loads. So you may if it is the pavement, so the continuously vehicles are moving, therefore it is the pavement may be used for the several vehicles in the design life, so that the wheel loads are repeatedly acting. So you can observe the wheel loads are repeatedly acting. So because of this repetition of the loads on this pavement, there may be a deformation occur in the pavement. Clear? So this deformation may occur. The total deformation what we have observed in the pavement is the sum of the wheel loads acting on this pavement during that period you need to consider. So that whatever the repetition of the loads which is coming on the vehicle pavement, you need to consider for the designing. Usually what we are doing for the designing of the pavement, single axial with a dual wheel carrying 80 kilonewton load has been considered. You can observe single axial nothing but it is having the an axial, and it is having the double wheel has been provided. Usually the load carrying it is considered as a 80 kilonewton. So this is what the repetition load you need to consider for the designing of the pavement. So then the next is the subgrade type. So subgrade type is nothing but it is a base layer. So whatever the soil type is there, that is what the earth surface, what we are calling it as a subgrade. To construct the pavement, the subgrade soil must be tested. So for the various tests, it may be the CBR test or it may be the triaxial test. So for the different strength test may be carried out for the subgrade soil. So determining the quality of the subgrade. So how the subgrade is there. So if the subgrade quality is good, then the thickness may be less. If the subgrade quality is poor, so then you need to provide the maximum thickness of the pavement. If the subgrade soil is poor, then the pavement should damage easily. So that your care should be taken for the providing of the thickness of the pavement, so that the subgrade type, which type of subgrade is there and what is the strength parameter of that subgrade is need to be considered for the designing of the pavement here. So you can observe in the figure, so there is if it is a poor subgrade is there, so then the pavement can easily deteriorate under the action of the environmental as well as the climatic aspects. So this is about the subgrade type. And the temperature effects on the pavement. So here we are having the flexible pavement as well as the rigid pavement also. So we can expect the temperature effects both in flexible as well as the rigid pavement. So in case of flexible pavement, what happens? So temperature affects the modulus of this surface courses. That is, if it is very hot condition, so then whatever the bitumen or asphalt layer is provided, it loses their stiffness. So then it starts moving. It becomes viscous. That is, it may lose their stiffness. So at the low temperature, asphalt layer may act as a brittle and crack may be formed. So that is, if it is we are having the maximum temperature, then there is a it will loses the stiffness. If it is a low temperature, then it becomes a brittle and there is a chances of formation of the cracks. You can observe in this figure. So there is some cracks has been formed here because of this temperature effects. So this is what regarding the flexible pavement. So whenever you come for the rigid pavement, what is the variation in the rigid pavement? So there is a much effect on the rigid pavement because of this temperature variation. So in case of rigid pavement, what happens? So because of this variation of this temperature, there may be a temperature stresses has been developed, warping stresses has been developed, there is a curling of the concrete has been formed because of this variation of the temperature at the top layer as well as the bottom layer. So that the temperature is one of the important aspect you need to consider for the designing of this flexible as well as the rigid pavement. So the next thing is the precipitation. So if you are considering or designing any pavement, the drainage must be properly provided. So drainage is very important. So that for the moment of the rainwater, what which is falling on the whatever the pavement, so that for that purpose drainage should be provided. Proper drainage must be provided. The moisture variation or precipitation from the rain affect the depth of the groundwater table. So means what? Good drainage facility should be provided and to good support and to strengthen this pavement. And usually what we are doing, the groundwater table should be at least below 1 meter of the pavement surface. So whatever the pavement surface we have provided, the groundwater table should be below the 1 meter table. It should not be near to the surface. So like that you need to construct this pavement. And the precipitation aspect also you need to consider. So that is effect from the rain. The pavement may damage because of the precipitation of the water into the soil, into the pavement surface. So this is one of the aspect. And next, as I have explained, the subgrade type, which type of the subgrade you are considering, whether the subgrade is weaker soil. If the subgrade is weaker, you need to provide the higher thickness, and if the subgrade is somewhat strong, you need to provide the lower thickness as well as the materials also. The type of the materials you were used, pavement materials, is also depends on the which type of subgrade you are having. And the climatic factors, it may affect, it may be the rainfall, temperature aspects and the variation of the temperature, and again the some of the climatic variations that also affecting for the designing of this flexible pavement. So that is the temperature aspect, which is causes the temperature warping stresses as well as the temperature stresses in case of the rigid pavement. But in case of the flexible pavement, it may be lose the stability of the bitumen whenever the temperature is high. So that you need to consider the climatic factors also for the designing of this highway pavement. So then we will the that is the materials used. It is one of the very important parameter you need to consider. So which type of material you are used in the subgrade layer. So means whatever the stress distribution is there, you can observe here, whatever the stress distribution is there, so it is mainly depends on the behavior of the material what we have used in the different layers. So it may be the fatigue behavior, the pavement materials, there is a durability under observed condition. So aggregate bearing stress occurring in the pavement have a resistance wear due to the abrasion action on the traffic. So because we are having the mixed traffic flow on the pavement, so that whatever the material is nothing but whatever the aggregate combination or the subgrade sub base course what we are using, that should be having the higher quality. And also this material is mainly depends upon the type of the subgrade soil also. If the subgrade is poor, then you need to provide the high quality of the pavement materials for the construction of this pavement. So these are all the some of the important parameters you need to consider for the designing of the pavement. It may be flexible pavement or it may be the rigid pavement. So this is about the factors need to be considered. So next we will move for the methods of designing of flexible pavement. Thank you.